Hello, everybody, all at once. This is Theo Cedar Jones. And my friend Noah Skosilic has been on Facebook always putting these mild jabs at Bernie Sanders and always seeming a little skeptical. And I'm like, no, why so skeptical about Bernie Sanders? Bernie Sanders is clearly our man. And I am with Bernie Sanders all the way to the White House. So let me make that clear up front. But you get me to thinking, what's Noah on about? So I can't answer for Noah, but it did make me realize, well, what are the shortcomings in Bernie Sanders' campaign? And how would we want him to do it differently or better? And I realized that even though I completely support his entire platform and know that we must do everything that he is indicating in that platform, and more, of course, the thing that is missing is that Bernie Sanders doesn't talk about materialism and consumerism as a problem that extends across all Americans. He is putting the focus on the elites and the financial elites and so on, as he should and as we all should. But let's say Bernie is successful and the middle class's dignity and basic fairness is restored, and resources are pouring into education and health in more positive ways, and the middle class is booming, and people are enjoying a greater happiness, and all these things are happening. And yet, we haven't changed the underlying presumption of our society, which is kind of a hybrid of the pursuit of happiness and consumerism, materialism, uber alles. That all there is in life is that you're a meat sack, and when you die, or you go to believer's heaven, and all the time in between you are pursuing the next pleasure for yourself. You're pursuing the next self-interested goal. You are pursuing something about consumption of materials, the pursuit of money, the rat race, every single day of life until supposed retirement, when you're supposed to be some drugged out, refrigerated zombie post-consumer. And the whole model is leading to the destruction of the planet and the enslavement of the human species, and a very dark vision that all you're really here to do is be a consumer, not be enlightened. So Bernie isn't talking about that, as far as I know, and it's not a central part of his platform. That the real problem is not just the 1% or the 1% of the 1%, or shadow government, or banksters, or secret financial elites that have been working behind the scenes with reptilians or other extraterrestrial interests for thousands of years. It's not just that. It's that we have all bought in to the model of consumerism and materialism as the way of life. And inevitably that drives us to be self-interested consumer egos, having nothing but a life of self-interest. There's no greater vision in consumerism. There's no ultimate wisdom or truth about you and your true human condition in the consumerist and materialist model. It's obviously a suicidal model. To put people in that model is to make them become slaves to their own self-destruction. It is evil. Consumerism is evil. Bernie Sanders isn't talking about that. Materialism as an all-consuming philosophy of life is evil. As evil as Nazism, as evil as anything that we've ever done. It is global genocide. Materialism, consumerism is global genocide. It is war for profit extended with nuclear weapons and tyranny to create catastrophes beyond what we've ever experienced. That is what happens if we allow materialism, consumerism to go on unchecked as a philosophy. Bernie Sanders isn't talking about that. So, God bless Bernie Sanders, white light around Bernie Sanders and his family, love and success to the Bernie Sanders campaign. We are in the Oval Office. 2016, 2017 is Bernie Sanders president of the United States of America. And yet, here, my friends, is a summary of my critique about Bernie Sanders' campaign. What is missing from Bernie Sanders' campaign are the two great callings of Adidas Samraj. Number one, that we all are here to be enlightened, to awaken from the ego and its pursuits of materialism, consumerism. And two, we are here to live in cooperative community, universally, both locally and globally. And that is to be extended through the Global Cooperative Forum. So, that's what's missing from Bernie Sanders. Enlightenment for you and us and the masses and cooperative community and the Global Cooperative Forum for the masses, for everybody all at once. Respectfully.